Hey everyone, welcome to Back on Track Cycling. My name's Matt. This is my first YouTube video. I didn't quite know how to go about it. It feels really weird talking to a camera. It doesn't come naturally to me. So if this seems really amateurish, it's because it is. um, I didn't know how to start with my first video, so I just thought I'd cover a little bit about myself. I'm just out on a ride at the moment, a 40 miler it's one of my favourite routes I enjoy doing. And yeah, I just stopped at this wonderful church in a small place called Gretham outside of Liss in Hampshire. It's a little place that's 20 miles halfway along my ride that I like to stop and just have a bit of a chill. And yeah, just have a stretch. I always do stretches before I ride, but about halfway along this 40 mile, I feel like I need to just stretch my back out because I'm approaching 40. Um, so yeah, a little bit about me. I used to cycle years and years ago, and I stupidly gave it up. It was in my 20s. I used to cycle with a good friend of mine called Ross. I gave it up for many, many years. And in that time, I completely just fell off the wagon. I put on tons of weight, fell into a deep depression for years and years and years. I didn't even know I was depressed until it got really, really bad, and then I was sort of diagnosed. And yeah, they just put me on all the tablets, and you know, not a lot of help was given. So last August, I went down to see a good friend of mine, and he said about getting back on the bike. So I thought, I don't know, don't know if I'll be bothered. So a short while after, I thought, yeah, go for it, just go for it. So last September the 2nd to be precise, my birthday, I went and bought a second-hand old steel French racing bike. 70 quid, Facebook Marketplace, bargain, nothing wrong with it. Old, but nothing wrong with it, perfect working order, old gears, 8 speed. But, I didn't want to spend a fortune because I didn't know if I was going to get back into it properly. So I picked up this bike, and basically I had a load of old kit left. So this jersey, case in point, some old shoes, an old helmet. And yeah, just went out on a couple of rides. My God, was I unfit. My God. But it sparked something in me again. I thought, oh God, yeah, I'd missed it. My soul had missed it. So I was very unfit. So I would go out and do like 5 miles and then keep doing 5 miles. And then I ramped it up to 10. And then once I could do 10, I thought, oh, can I do 20? So, and then went up to 20 and then did 20 for a while. And then, yeah, just this whole year just gone, I've just ramped up and ramped up and ramped up. About 4 or 5 months in, I got my fitness back, ish. Well, to the point where I could go and do 40, 50 miles, but it would take me all day. Nothing like now, I can do 40, 50 in not a couple of hours, but, 2 to 3 hours if I'm, averaging along. But I'm not in it for speed. I like long rides, and stopping at places and seeing stuff and taking photos and just enjoying the day being out on the bike. So yeah, spent this last year just rebuilding my fitness. I've coupled it with long walks, gym work, and my God, to say I've caught the bug again is an understatement. I am obsessed. I am obsessed. And yeah, case in point, I often just go out and do 40-mile rides now just for shits and giggles nearly every other day. Because I'm lucky enough to do so and I live in a nice area. But yeah, so I just wanted to start my YouTube channel with this little introduction to me. I won't do much recording whilst I'm on the bike today. I'm going to save that for another day because I didn't bring my proper little microphone with me, and trying to record on a phone, you get that when it sucks. But the places I stop on this ride, I'll try and show you little places I stop, and everything like that. I'll show you my noble steed, and yeah, catch you in a bit. So this is where I stop in Gresham. It's this lovely little church, and at the moment it just looks gorgeous because it's autumn. One of my favourite times of year. Love the colours and the changing of the leaves. There's just something about it. Yeah, this is the little bench I always sit on and have just 5 minutes to sit and just reflect. My noble steed, Pinarello Dogma 60.1. That's an old bike now. That's quite an old bike. I think they were released in 2011. I only recently picked that up in August of this year, beginning of August this year, and yeah, just one of the most comfortable bikes I've ever ridden. Just insanely comfortable. I can do 40, 50, 60, even 70 miles on this thing, and I don't get any aches and pains, which is just nuts. But the bike I owned before, it really it used to punish me a lot. It was another steel bike. It was a Bianchi. I am a Bianchi fan by trade, yeah, I got this Pinarello Dogma and I picked it up cheap. Again, second-hand bikes, they are perfect. You don't need to go and get a new bike if you're just starting out, in my opinion. There's plenty of good second-hand bikes out there. So yeah, this thing is rocking the old 10-speed SRAM Red. Some people remember that. I've got some Mavic carbon wheels on there. They're quite nice. And yeah, very Gucci. I mean, back in the day, this bike would have cost £7,000 without the wheels, and I picked it up for 800. Obviously the wheels were extra, but yeah, just a super bike of yesteryear, but still holds its own. Just a fantastic ride. Yeah, the colours on the trees, I don't know if you can see that. It's just a lovely little nook that I like to stop in and have 5. Anyway, I better get going. I've got to do the second half of this ride, so I shall catch you soon. I've had to re-record this 3 times now because there's a guy going around cutting the lawn on this big green I'm sat in. I'm in a village called Liphook, which is a village I grew up in. Just sat on this green here, enjoying one of my favourite ride snacks, which is a Snickers and a can of Dr. Pepper. I try not to eat many carbs or any carbs or any sugar while I'm not riding these days, because it's really helped with the weight loss as well as doing a ton of riding. So, but while I'm on the bike, sugar, carbs, because you need it and you use it all. So yeah, just to follow up, I've only been back on the bike for a year, and I'm approaching 40 next year, and I can honestly say I'm fitter now approaching 40 than I ever was in my 20s, and that's knowing a lot more about nutrition, and just advances in sort of cycling information, and just the other things I accompany with my cycling, which is like going to the gym, going on long walks, stretching's the big one. If you get yourself really supple and all your ligaments stretchy, you have so much an easier time on the bike, especially long distance. I like to do long distance, and if you don't stretch, you just like all seize up and you're just tense, and it's just horrible. So yeah, this is gonna be my first video, as I said, and from here, I didn't know what to do with this. I wanted to help other people get into cycling. I think so. I'm going to do a couple of videos on tips and tricks, what you'll need, all the gear, etc, just because I want to inspire people to get on the bike, possibly get their life back on track like I did, for me. And then I'm going to also do some videos of rides and things, but when I've got my proper microphone. I've got a big one coming up at the end of October. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's going to be good. Hopefully the weather's nice. Although if the weather's not nice, it'll still be a good ride, but it'll be like grey and just uninspiring. But if the weather's good, it's going to be a fantastic day, and I'm going to get lots of footage and everything like that. So yeah, that's the plan. I haven't got a GoPro or anything like that yet. The plan was to make a few videos, see what sort of reactions I get, see what a sort of, you know, if I don't want to say I don't want a following, but at the same time, if it doesn't happen, then I'm just going to make these for me. But if I do get some people following and are interested in the content I made, then happy days. Good to have you with me. Yeah, all right, I'll catch you in a bit. Right, just finished the ride. Ended up being 44 miles in total. Had to take a bit of a detour, but not bad for a midweek ride. As I usually do 20 or 40s most of the time, and then at the weekend I plan something bigger and do a 60 or maybe a 70 sort of thing. So yeah, well, that was it for my first video. Yeah, it was a good ride. I'm sorry I didn't get much footage of the actual, cycling and stuff. As I said, the next time I go out, I'll take the microphone so it won't be making the noise. But yeah, that was a good ride. Let's have a look here on the Wahoo. 44 miles, average speed 16.7 miles an hour, average heart rate 142. It's pretty good. It's just within zone 2, zone 3. And what have we got for climbs? 2,114. That's good bit of hillage as well. So that's what I quite like. That's one of my favourite routes, and I like a good bit of hillage. Because if you just go on all flat all the time, it gets boring, and the hills sort of break up a ride, and also, in my opinion, you don't really get fitter unless you throw in a hill or two here and there. Yeah, okay, I'll catch you on the next video, and we'll see you next time. I will see you next time, not we. I will see you next time. Sorry.